And good evening. We're live from a very cold Sydney with our Life After Hours Ask Me Anything on Super. So we've got quite a few logged in and more arriving every minute, but I think it's probably worth starting with a little background to Super to get your thought processes moving and trigger those questions. So let's go. You can key in your questions into the chat. You should be able to see that on your screen. And let's go. So superannuation is obviously a big part of our financial life, and so much so that it is one of, so let me just get the slide happening. It is step 5 of our 8 steps to financial freedom. After the first 3 foundation steps of spending less than you earn, paying off your debts, building an emergency stash, we then move on to getting your paperwork straight, preparing the unexpected, and getting your super sorted. So a very important financial step. But of course, it's not black and white. Providing for retirement is really a balance between how much you spend during your working life compared to how much you spend in retirement. Some people will want a very full and busy retirement and will therefore need to save more. Others will value money when they're younger, when their kids are younger and they can spend more time with them. They might want to spend more money on education. So that balance is a very personal decision, and getting that balance right is the key to it. So there is no one right percentage of your income that you should save. You may hear comments, certainly from American commentators, that 15% is a good number. That's a very personal decision. But most importantly, whatever you do, 2/3 of what you spend in retirement will come from the earnings on your retirement savings, not from the contribution itself. And so what you do with the money over the 40 years from 20 to 60 is very critical to the standard of living you enjoy in retirement. And of course, your super is not the only source of retirement income. There are 4 pillars that we talk about for retirement income. Obviously, getting your home paid off is pretty critical. We're seeing a lot of retirees today who don't have the benefit of a full lifetime in the compulsory super system. Many of those are withdrawing big chunks from their super at retirement to pay off their home loan. That's something that's ideally to avoid. The second step, of course, is your super. And for most younger Australians, those who have had the benefit of starting in the workforce after 1993 with the benefit of a lifetime of compulsory super, that will become a bigger and bigger part of their retirement savings. Then, of course, there's the age pension, and you can have quite a bit of retirement savings and still qualify for at least a part age pension. So you should never forget that one. And then finally, there's your non-super investments. So as you are saving outside super, whether that's because you want access to it earlier or you've capped out on your super eligibility, for whatever reason, most people will have some investments outside super. So those 4 together provide us with the retirement income that we're looking to support the desired standard of living in retirement. Super, of course, and it's the reason it's the topic for tonight, is by far the most tax-effective way of saving. And that's because $1 invested in super gives you more money in the fund because you pay less tax on it on the way in. It earns a return at a lower rate of tax, and it can provide for a tax-free retirement income. So all of those make it extremely tax effective. The downside, of course, is that it comes with a restriction on what you can invest it in and how you can invest it, and it comes with limited access before age 60. Both of those restrictions may very well mean that from a personal perspective, you're better off investing outside super. And generally, we look at that clearly you've got your superannuation guarantee contributions, which you have little choice about. That's going up to 11% from next Monday, and will rise to 12% by the 2025 tax year. And for those with a lifetime of super guarantee contributions, looked after well, invested properly, that should be capable of giving you about 4 months of your final year's pay as a tax-free retirement income. And so that's a really good start to replacing your working income. Whether that's enough is a very personal decision. And before you consider putting more money into super, you should probably be thinking, well, am I ready to make that flexibility trade-off? So have you bought your home? Are you on the way to paying off your home loan? And have you got any assets outside super? So if your goal is to retire at 40 or 50 or start slowing down before you eventually get access to your super at 60, you'll need more income, more assets outside super. So all of those will drive your decision as to whether to invest in super or not. But whatever you choose to do, there are a handful of things that you can do today that don't affect your day-to-day budget, but will give you a better return on your money. Clearly, finding all your super, many people have super that they've lost track of, and that may be parked in a eligible rollover fund earning a cash return. That really needs to be got working. Rounding up into one place will generally result in lower fees and better returns. There are some reasons why you might want more than one fund, but they are not for everybody. And finally, make sure it's invested in the right way. So they're the things that you can do today. And none of this actually affects your day-to-day spending, so do it now. So that's really just an intro. This is intended to be a question and answer session rather than a presentation or lecture on super. So we turn to the questions that we've got live in the chat.